Welcome to the Healthy Christian Podcast. This podcast is dedicated to empowering Christians to live a fulfilled life by integrating biblical principles with practical steps. Whether you're seeking to deepen your faith, enhance your physical health, or improve your overall well-being, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthy Christian Podcast. This is Season 2, Episode 3, where this season we've been talking about how to live healthy physically, and we've been diving into food and the impact that food has for your ability to live healthy. We're going to continue this conversation around food, and today's topic is your need for nutrition. Yes, you need good quality nutrition. We're going to talk about this a little bit here today and dive into some basics. Maybe you already know this, and it might be a refresher. Maybe this is new information for you. Still very good and helpful for us to be reminded that food is nutrition. Like we talked about in previous episodes, we have to view food differently. We have to transform our thinking and our mind about food. Food is not pleasure. It's not really meant to be enjoyed. Yes, we have taste buds, which is good, but it's so we will eat good quality, nutrient-dense food. In the past, we've talked about food as medicine, nutrition, and energy. Today, we're going to be talking about that food is nutrition. And we're going to go over some of these things today about macronutrients, micronutrients, and really what these are designed for in our body. So let's dive in and let's talk about the difference that you need to have when viewing and eating food. Macronutrients are something you probably heard about. It's your proteins, your carbs, your fats. If you don't know what these are, your proteins are so important to the health of your muscle, to getting nutrients into your muscle. You need protein in your body. And some easy examples of protein is going to be your meats, but there's also a lot of protein found in your plants. This is important for you to build muscle, to grow muscle, and to keep muscle in your body, which is very important to your overall health. Your carbs, when you begin to break carbs down, they get broken down into sugars. I'm not talking about the unhealthy kind of sugar where we get these sugars added to food. I'm talking about the energy that your body needs, the quick energy that your body breaks down. You need carbs and sugar for your brain to operate. This is why we crave sugar, because our brain needs this in order to operate and to process things clearly. But we need a healthy kind of carb that can be broken down in a good way for our body. And so carbs are essential to our life. You can think about carbs as healthy carbs are your plants and also your grains. And so rice, different things like that. You can very simply just think about carbs in that way. Also, you have fat. And a lot of times we've been trained, depending on your generation, you've been trained to look at fat as a bad thing. Yeah, you've been taught to avoid fats, but there's really good, healthy fats that you need. You see, if you're not getting healthy fat into your body's going to store it, which is what we don't want. We don't want excess fat in our life, around our organs, in our body. So it is important to get good, healthy, quality fat, which is usually your oils, olive oil. There's some really important oils that you need in your body. And there's been a lot of research and debate around animal fat, whether that's good or bad for you. But my best advice there is just in moderation. You don't want to consume a lot of animal fat, but you do need fat in your diet for you to be healthy. So these are your, if you want to call your your overall nutrients that you need in your body are proteins, carbs, and fats. So if this is new to you, my encouragement to you is begin to think about food in this way. Okay, I need protein, I need carbs, and I need fat, and I need this to be balanced. This is the key when you are thinking about eating healthy is balance. So you don't want a food or a meal to be super high in fat. So you don't want a ton of oil in a meal because, well, then you're consuming mainly fat. You don't want a meal to be super high in protein and low in carbs. You also need carbs to function healthy for your energy. And so you really we need a balanced diet for every single meal. So if you can just focus on one meal at a time, one snack at a time, looking at what you're eating on the back, on every nutrition label for food that is manufactured and processed is that breakdown of proteins, carbs, and fats. So you can see it. In America, it's made it really easy to be able to see what is in our food. So this is important for you to begin to look at your food and know, okay, where am I at? Is this balanced? And is this going to be good for me in a balanced way? I think it's a great place to start when you begin to renew your mind about that. Now, if you've been doing this for a while, if you've been following your protein, carbs, and fats, then you can dive into percentages. For me and my body, what I've learned is I don't want any more than 20% of my diet to come from fat. And that means that the majority of my food is coming from proteins and carbs. And I can kind of mix and match depending on how heavy I'm working out, what kind of exercise or demand I'm putting on my body can change how much protein I'm getting or how many carbs that I'm getting. And even to take it a step further, if you're really big into working out and exercise or you're an athlete, you can begin to focus on the meal. If I know I've got a big event coming up or I know I'm going to work hard, then I'm going to need a completely different percentage of carbs and proteins for that meal in order to perform a function for my body. Remember, we're thinking differently about food. We're using it as fuel. For this example, I need this energy to perform a task. Maybe you're going to eat higher carbs, and the meal after maybe would be higher in protein. You can kind of begin to shift and to move this macronutrients around to see how your body responds, how you heal and recover. But a key there is tracking it and knowing what you're consuming, being intentional about what you're putting into your body and knowing it. This is just, again, a quick overview, tons of research you could do out there, tons of people you could follow, different athletes that can help guide you in this journey of being intentional for these type of nutrients. But my encouragement for you on this podcast is to know about it, to be aware that you are consuming certain kinds of food. Now, another one I want to talk about is your micronutrients. And this isn't talked about a lot. I remember when I was a personal trainer, we didn't talk about micronutrients at all. It's all macros. This is all the fitness industry was obsessed about. But your micronutrients have become really more popular and intentional over the last few years. And this is really your vitamins and minerals. What am I consuming in my body that's going to help me heal, that's going to help me get the vitamin D, A, B. You probably heard about a lot of these. Multivitamins became super popular over the last several years because we began to realize we weren't getting the vitamins that we needed. Multivitamins have been out for a long time, way before I was born, so it's not anything new to the industry. There's just a lot of new regulation around it and a lot of new research that's been done to say, hey, these are the type of vitamins we really need and the type of vitamins that are lacking in the normal diet. I want to let you know that when you're consuming food, yes, you have your macronutrients, but your micronutrients are what's getting into your food. How well quality your food is going to affect your micronutrients, your vitamins and minerals. You may eat a piece of meat, and that piece of meat is going to have the same macronutrients, but it's going to have a different level of micronutrients in it, depending on how well that has been absorbed. This is why organic has become a really big deal, being intentional on paying attention where your food's coming from the farms and different locations, because it drastically affects your micronutrients. What we don't want to do, though, is we don't want to just avoid good quality food and then just consume a lot of supplements to make up for it. Ideally, we're going to want to get good quality food so we're getting natural minerals and vitamins that is good for us. This is really important. Again, tons of research around it. My best recommendation for this is to go to your doctor, have blood work done, do some research. Yeah, it's going to cost money, but if you feel like you have a deficiency, it's better to do research and invest and find out what you're really lacking instead of just guessing, instead of just taking these multivitamins and just a shot in the dark and hoping that it gets covered, because you don't want more of a one vitamin just trying to make up for it. I'm not saying multivitamins are bad, but you do want to be intentional and know your deficiencies and what you need in your body, because you do need vitamins and minerals. This is really important to dive into. Again, I want you to make aware of this today. Maybe you're new to researching this. If you are, I encourage you to spend a few times a week researching vitamins and minerals, talking to your doctor about it, and finding out how these can benefit you in your life. I remember when I was a personal trainer, and one of the things we always talked about is you are what you eat. When I've heard this first saying, you are what you eat, I began to think, well, I don't want to be a cow, so I'm not going to eat a cow. I don't want to be a plant, so I'm not going to eat a plant. But this saying kind of dives in a little bit deeper, is you are what your food is eating. Depending on the quality of your food matters when we talk about getting vitamins and minerals. We want to become healthy, so my encouragement for you is to eat natural foods. It can be tempting to eat cookies and processed things or processed meat or fast food because we're so busy, but there's a massive difference between fast food chicken at a restaurant versus your food you would find in a grocery store that's been farm raised. The best that you possibly can, you're going to get way better quality food when you can meal prep and plan ahead. This is the key. Planning ahead, you're going to get better quality food. Begin to think about that. You are what you eat. So do you want to become the kind of food that you're consuming? If it's high in fat, right? We don't want to be high in fat. Balance matters in our life. I want to read to you what Genesis chapter 1, verse 29 says, because I believe God has designed food to be good for us, but it's important to understand what God is saying here. It says in Genesis 1:29, and God said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. So right there, God is saying, hey, I've designed this to be food and nutrients for you. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has breath of life, I have given every green plant for food. And then God says, and it was so. God has designed us to consume the things that he has created on this earth to give us the nutrients and the energy that we need. But we need to be intentional in understanding that when God wrote this, when God created the world, it was a much different world than what we live in now, where things are mass produced and mass processed. And even a potato, when you think that every potato is equal, it's not. We need to be intentional with this and understanding where our food is coming from. You are what you eat, and we need to be eating good quality, nutrient-dense food. So food is nutrition, okay? Balance is key, and eating healthy to give us energy should be our goal. I want you to walk away with some practical next steps here today that you can begin to apply to your life. The first thing I want you to do is ask questions. What do I need or lack? When it comes to eating food, don't just eat out of hunger or desire. Begin to think, well, what do I need? Do I need more protein in my diet? Today, I've been just kind of eating on the go. It's been high in fat, high in carbs. Maybe I need more protein for dinner. Begin to ask yourself, what do I need? That is going to change your life. If you can begin to look at food as something you need that is going to nutrient and help your body, this is going to be a powerful transformation in your life. And begin to work on balance. Every day is going to be different. Life is going to come to you, throw curveballs. I wish I could say I ate healthy 24/7, but life happens. As a pastor, a leader, a business person that's always on the go, I catch myself eating at restaurants and out with people all the time. It's important for you to look at food differently and say, okay, how can I eat this in the best possible healthy way and balanced? Balance is key. Look at your food through the lens of balanced. If you're going to get a salad, right? Well, you need some protein in that salad. So these are things that you can begin to train your mind to think about and to pay attention to the label. I think this is a great next step. When you go to pick up something and you go to eat it, just look at the label. Take 5 seconds to turn it around and look at what it says on the back. Hey, even if you buy it and even if you read it and you know that it's bad, hey, at least you know what you're eating. That is a massive first step for you is to know what is going into your body. If you don't want to waste time looking at these and tracking them, again, they make great apps for this. They can download on your phone, computer, and you can record very easily by scanning the barcode, and it can send you reports every single week with pie charts and all this great data on what you're eating. You can even find great meal plans out there. Even hospitals now are offering healthy meal plans because they are understanding when you pay attention to your food, it'll keep you out of the hospital and you'll be able to live a healthier, more fulfilled life, that you'll recover quicker, that you'll be happier, and that you'll even have more energy by paying attention to what you're eating. I hope you find this encouraging, and I can't wait to hear the stories that is going to come from transforming your life by looking at your food through the lens of nutrition. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Healthy Christian Podcast. Now it's your turn to put these principles we've discussed into action. We'd love to hear how they've impacted you. Please rate, review, and share the podcast with others. Join us on social media to continue the conversation and share your insights. Until next time, stay healthy.